just too sweet.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Sai Omega here. Finally coming at you with this top pro wrestling prospects in Japan video. I told you I was going to make it. I promised you, and I didn't break the promise. A rare thing when it comes to me. So yeah, I've decided that I want to try to make this a series thing. I want to kind of call it like Pro Wrestling Scouting Report or something like that. Maybe every now and then I'll tell you, the who's who and who's coming up in the game. But so far this is just for Japan. So yeah. Without further ado, I know I've delayed it long enough. Enjoy the top pro wrestling prospects in Japan. Kaito is the classic fiery young rookie. He bites off a little more than he can chew in his matches against guys that would legit kill him. Guys like Shiozaki or Marufuji. I mean, seriously, who decides slapping Marufuji is a good idea? I mean, maybe suicidal people. But yeah, I mean, hey. That's the fire that makes him look promising, and his selling is pretty darn good considering he's a young lion. He has to do it for most of the match anyway. And he's great at getting the crowd behind him in matches. I'm sure they know he's not going to win the matches. However, they are chanting for him, and that's pretty promising. A great example of this is maybe his tag match at Fortune Dream 4, where he teamed up with Go Shiozaki to take on Yuji Okabayashi and his tag partner, another prospect who I'll speak on later on in the video, Takia Nomura. I highly recommend you check that match out. I'm sure you could find it around on the internet somewhere. Noah isn't too great at producing great young talent, really. However, I think this could turn around, and in maybe some years, once he gets enough experience, Kaito Kiyomiya could end up being the future of pro wrestling Noah. Yuma Aoyagi is a tall junior, standing at about 6'1", which is pretty tall in Japan. I'm not being racist, I mean, pretty short there. Coming out of the All Japan Dojo, he's currently in the stable Next Stream, which features the ace of All Japan himself, my main man, Kento Miyahara. Love the dude. And other up-and-coming guys in All Japan, such as Jake Lee or Naoya Nomura. He comes off as a natural babyface and is pretty good at getting the crowd behind him when he gets fired up. I recommend checking out his challenge for the junior heavyweight title in January against Keisuke Ishii. It's a pretty great match, and I think you'll really come to see what he'll be able to bring to the table in the future. Tomoyuki Oka is a great young lion. He has potential to be a great upper mid-card guy in the future, well, in my eyes. I could be wrong. He could end up being a main event guy. Things happen, you never know. But for right now, I'm seeing a potential upper mid-card talent, which isn't a bad thing. I know some people that really like him might think I'm underselling the guy. That's not the case. There are definitely excellent upper mid-card guys in New Japan. I mean, think of Tomohiro Ishii or Minoru Suzuki. They don't usually get the main event at big pay-per-views, but when they're in big matches, they definitely step up to the plate, and I can see Oka doing that in the future. Oka has a amateur wrestling background, which is a pretty good plus for him. He's an otaku, he loves anime, and that earns him a star in my book. Who knows, maybe that could be a part of his gimmick in the future. You never know. Asada Higuchi. Now, if you're only a casual viewer of DDT, and you only know DDT for its comedy stuff, it might shock you that they have one of the top prospects in Japan right now. DDT has their own developmental system where younger guys go to get experience through wrestling and their DNA events. Higuchi is definitely a standout amongst the others. He looks like a classic All Japan guy. If you were to just drop him off in 90s All Japan, he'd fit right in, no questions asked. He kind of wrestles like that too. Of course, he's not quite at the level of maybe a Misawa or an Akiyama or anything like that, but it's the potential that makes it very exciting to see what he could do in the future. Who knows, maybe he doesn't stick with DDT and decides to go somewhere else, like All Japan or Noah or even New Japan could scoop the guy up. He's definitely a hell of a talent. I think he has a very high ceiling, and he has potential to do very big things in Japan, for sure. Now take a look at this giant hunk of mass and tell me he doesn't look like he eats a bowl of nails for breakfast without any milk. He's got an excellent look, and at the age of 31, it looks like Kitamura could actually end up skipping the Young Lion process where they send you on excursion to other companies like Ring of Honor or CMLL to build your character and gain experience elsewhere. And I say, why not? He's got the amateur wrestling background much like Oka. His character can be seen through the ridiculous veins on his body, that even put Jinder Mahal to shame. He'll most likely be joining the Taguchi Japan stable when he moves on from the Young Lion status, and who knows what he does from there. Now, Hirai Kawato, definitely one of the best Young Lions in New Japan, if not the best, actually the best. And it's not even close for me. His ability to get the crowd behind him and gain sympathy through his selling is unmatched by any of the other guys there that are Young Lions. I could see him becoming a huge star in Ring of Honor and CMLL during his excursion and coming back that much better. He's going to come back very, very good. Plus, he's got an Okada-esque drop kick. And, I mean, he might come back as a junior, but I guarantee he'll turn some heads and impress some people and eventually become a heavyweight. He's got future main eventer written all over him. And I know Okada's not going anywhere anytime soon, but he's got future ace written all over him, in my opinion. Maybe I'm overselling him, but hey, I'm a big fan of the guy. What can I say? Now, last but certainly not least, drum roll, please. Takia Nomura, whom, if you were paying attention earlier, which you probably weren't, you would have noticed that I mentioned him earlier in the video. And let me tell you right now, from an in-ring standpoint, this kid is easily the best guy on this list. Trained by amazing catch-style veteran Hideki Suzuki, who's currently Big Japan Strong Division champion. Nomura's got the passion and the fire in the ring of someone who's been wrestling for years. But if I told you that he's only been wrestling for a bit over a year now, well then, you'd probably be very surprised. That's what makes it just very insane. The amazing progression that he has made in such a short time is very impressive. It's on the level of like Kurt Angle or Matt Riddle. Maybe even more impressive than that, especially when it's for a company that isn't really known for producing great young talent in the first place. He'll be very pivotal in helping build up Big Japan's junior heavyweight division. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. I suggest you check out the 2 matches he's had with his mentor Hideki Suzuki, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Well, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, there's no better way to show that appreciation than body slamming that like button. And of course, subscribing for more, and join the discussion if you agree or disagree with any of my opinions here. I'll even put some prospects in Japan that I might have missed down below as well. Or maybe, suggest other types of pro wrestling scouting videos, for the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and good night. Bang!